the door is going to be closed. Just like Matthew 25 talks about it, the door is going to be closed. Revelation 3, the door is going to be closed. And we have that time window. I don't know the time. I don't know the exact date, and you're definitely right about that because Scripture points it out. But simple fact is, there's a sense of urgency. I mean, I'll be honest with you. The way everything's headed, I mean, we're on the edge of an economic, financial abyss. I mean, look, okay, Billy, look at a few weeks ago. Look how a matter of, like, not even 10 minutes, the Dow dropped 1,000 points and then rebounded in 6 more minutes up to 600 points. My whole thing is, since everything is controlled in computers, everything's run in computers, you shut the computers down everywhere. I mean, you can throw this world into chaos, financial holocaust. I mean, we're living in wow, on the edge of that. And so I definitely believe we are in those times, and we got to get prepared. We got to get ready because everything's tied into these computer systems. That's something that, I'll be honest with, a lot of people at Scope will say, well, you've been talking about it for hundreds of years. Well, we didn't have computers 100 years ago. We didn't have the technology we have today. Daniel 12:4 says, shut these words up till the end of time, for people be run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. Revelation chapter 11, the 2 witnesses are laid dead on the street. How can the whole world see them? How can, in Revelation 13, how can the whole world be marveled at the beast when he took the headshot? I mean, list can go on. So the technology is here. We're my goodness. And so that what makes this generation really unique compared to the 1800s, okay? And we can... I mean, I'm stating the obvious here, Billy, but I have a sense of urgency, and like I said, the headlines and everything that's going on, and you're definitely right. The Bible, it's right there. It's right underneath all of our noses. Every family, every person out there probably has a Bible sitting in, collecting dust somewhere. But you know what I'm saying? But they don't pick it up. And then if they did, they realize, wow, this stuff it's there. It's there, and I can see it.
Yeah, well, exactly. You know, 2 things. One, you brought up the issue of Revelation chapter 11 with the 2 witnesses, and you're absolutely right. That's what is one of the many passages, if you just get in there and read it. And see, that's the illusion, folks. It's deliberately being veiled upon you so you don't wake up before it's too late, okay? It's a spiritual thing, it's a political thing, it's an educational thing, it's a religious thing, but I'm telling you, hey, prove me wrong. Get in there and crack it open. You'll see for it yourself. And that's what we do. It's like, hey, don't take my word for it. You read it yourself. You look at this yourself. I'm not making this up. Okay, this is what was predicted 2,000 years ago. But you brought up Revelation chapter 11, and you're absolutely right. That's a watershed event. Okay, John writes that roughly 96 A.D. Okay, he must have been, man, how is this going to happen? How is the whole world, not just the Roman society, the whole world, not just those in Jerusalem where this is taking place, the whole world going to watch for 3.5 days these guys laying dead in the street? You and I, we don't sneeze at that. We watch that with the global technology. Here's the point. That's not, you can't say, oh, you've been saying this 150 years, nothing ever changes. No. That's for the first time in mankind's history, folks, we have the technology for that passage to take place. Even more recently, if you continue in that passage, here's my point, Derek, is it clearly says that what are the people doing in those 3.5 days, watching these guys live on CNN or whatever it's going to be, dead in the street? They're going to be partying, and it specifically says they're going to be sending gifts to each other. Now, wait a second. Now, remember, it's a global context. How in the world is somebody not just going to watch somebody for 3.5 days? We see that for the first time in mankind's history, global technology with communications and satellite, okay, and TV. But think about it. In order for people within a 3.5-day time span to be able to send gifts to each other across the planet, think about what has to be in place for that to happen. But guess what, folks? It's recent with the birth of the Internet. With the click of a mouse, what can you and I do? For the first time in mankind's history, we could send a gift anywhere on any place on the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, even that is a recent revelation. That's a recent development. You can't say, oh, it's been saying the same thing for 100 years. I don't think so, folks. As recent as the birth of the Internet, that passage could not come to pass, but it's here. And that's the point. It's already here. For the first time in mankind's history, folks, you go back to the issue of the mark of the beast, Revelation 13, that's the classic one. It clearly says that this false prophet, okay, that's a whole other sign, the sign of a one-world religion. The false prophet guy is going to work with this cohort called the beast or the Antichrist, and he's going to work with the Antichrist, and he's going to literally, the text says, require, which literally means to cause or to make everyone, it's a global context, everyone, great or small, rich and poor, slave and free, to be given a mark on the right hand or the forehead. Now, first of all, you're going, why the right hand and the forehead? Well, as you get into the technology, you see if you have some sort of implant, whether it's on or in, Lord willing, we'll get to that later, is those are the two areas of the body that are readily exposed in cold climates, right?
Right.
Up in Alaska, you're wearing a coat. Well, your hands, you don't want it on your hip because you got to take half your clothes off. Okay, it's right on your hand or your forehead. Okay, that's readily exposed. The second thing, too, is some people believe that some of the technology that they're using for these this mark, in order for it to receive a battery charge, there's two places on the human body that have the greatest temperature fluctuation and sensitivity there, and that they've determined that they could create, based on the raising and lowering of the temperature, they could create in that portion of the body an electrical charge to hence make a battery. And those two places, folks, happen to be the back of the hand and the forehead, which makes total sense, okay, because that's the old-fashioned way that your mom used to check your temperature. She'd take the back of her hand, right, and she'd put it on your forehead, okay, because it's very, very sensitive. Okay, and this was prophesied 2,000 years ago, of all places on the body, and not the third toe, okay, not the back of the back, okay, it's on the right hand of the forehead. It's absolutely wild. But here's the point. It said there, and no one in the whole planet, folks, can buy or sell anything without this mark. Okay, and so that's the question. Well, you guys been saying that forever. No. Here's what's different, folks. For the first time in mankind's history, okay, put yourself in the Antichrist's shoes. If you're going to pull it off, and you're going to deceive the people in the whole world to receive this mark, okay, in order to be a part of this system so they continue to buy and sell, okay, then stop and think about it. The first thing you're going to have to get in place is the technology, because you're dealing with something on even a local scale. This is a worldwide event. Okay, so guess what, folks? For the first time in mankind's history, we have the means right now, the technology, to literally control and monitor and track every single person on the planet right now. Again, as you mentioned with Revelation 11, not only watching the two witnesses, but through satellite technology, folks, and the orbiting satellites, we can pick up signals from microchips anywhere on the planet. Okay, that's common knowledge. They use that. They've already been using that technology, folks, to monitor locations of military personnel, even with the war in Iraq. Okay, they use that to track a person anywhere on the planet. Okay, but it isn't just with the military. It's in other arenas. They use this technology to track anybody anywhere on the planet. They use it to spy on boat traffic in Florida with the smugglers and stuff. And get this, not even if you're doing something illegal, garbage men right now, folks, garbage men in England are being watched from the sky on their jobs. Why? In order to make sure they don't linger too long in one spot, in case they goof off. A satellite is doing that and recording that and tracking that. And they've got the technology and so many satellites floating around the sky now, folks, it literally has now become, for the first time in mankind's history, an electronic blanket covering the whole planet. You can, and I can talk to, find, track, communicate with any person, anywhere on the planet, literally from the top of the Himalayas to the Dead Sea. It doesn't matter. Now, here's the point. In order for the mark of the beast to be pulled off, you have to have this technology, folks. This is what's different. It's already here. It's not coming. It's already here, just waiting to be connected with the second thing. Again, put yourself in the Antichrist shoes. Wait a second, if I'm going to be able to control what people all over the whole planet are going to buy and sell, I not only need to have the technology in place to be able to track them, okay, and communicate with them and monitor them on a global scale, I need some sort of database to hold all this information and know who's what, where, when, why, and all that stuff, right? Well, folks, for the first time in mankind's history, whether you realize it or not, folks, here's some ugly news. Right now, folks, there's all kinds of, it ain't just databases are coming, and they're already here. Folks, 24 hours a day, they gather information and store information on you and I, from credit cards, transactions, magazine subscriptions, telephone numbers, your whole real estate records, your car registration, your fishing licenses. They know everything about you. They know, do you like dogs? Do you like cats? Do you enjoy camping? Are you one of those gourmet kind of cooking people? Do you read, what kind of books do you read, including the Bible, by the way? What your occupation is, what kind of car you drive, what kind of truck you drive, what kind of videos you watch, how much gas you use, where you get your gas, and what kind of food you buy. They know everything. In fact, folks, it is estimated right now that each adult in the developed world is already, folks, located on average in 300 different databases. Like it, love it, or leave it, folks, it's already happening. In fact, a lot of these networking sites, they've already exposed this too, folks, on a lot of the networking sites. It's helping them build even more of a bigger database on you and I, who our friends are, what we do, what's our computer habits. They know everything. And so here's the point, folks. In order for the Antichrist to pull off this, remember, John's writing this 2,000 years ago. He's got to be blown away. He's going, man, how could one guy control what people buy and sell on the whole planet? Well, you and I, with this technology, it's already in place. The whole world is mapped with the satellite technology. They've already got databases on us, folks, that connects us to a system. We're literally a number in a database already, okay? But listen, stop and think about it. That's not all you're going to need. Okay, if you're the Antichrist, you not only need a global tracking system and satellite system and communication system, and you not only need a database to control all this information, including financial information on people, okay, you need some sort of way to personally connect people to this system, right? Well, guess what, folks? Once again, here's the difference. For the first time in mankind's history, they've got a way to personally connect you to this global matrix that they're already building. And the watershed event, Derek, I'm sure as you know, seemed to have been the grand excuse with the terrorist attacks, quote-unquote, of 9/11. Okay, and that became a watershed, event to begin the process to dismantle all